Here's people, I am 30 and this is Return of Caesar, here in Crusader Kings 3. So the biggest question in the last episode were if we were going to change the succession law or not, seeing as the Byzantine Empire by default in this game actually has primogeniture, but when we took over the title it changed. Almost every one of you agree with me that we should change back the laws. I went to the council commands between episodes and I changed it to primogeniture. I did notice one slight issue. For some reason my second-born son is currently my heir, which doesn't really make sense. He's not a terrible person, but he's diplomacy and I don't particularly want diplomacy, to be honest. It might be because I made my son into an oracle, so I might want to change this as soon as I can, which is going to be in 10 years. How old am I? I'm only 36, I can live for 10 years, that's okay. There was one comment though that said that I shouldn't change the law because the Romans themselves didn't use primogeniture. And that's not entirely wrong, but it's not entirely right either. It depends on which era of Roman history basically that you're talking about. If you talk about ancient Rome, which I think that you are talking about, I'm talking about liberal socialist here, then you're kind of right, that the Romans didn't use a primogeniture succession. Or I guess they had a kind of primogeniture succession, that it was supposed that the firstborn son or the adopted son would be the one to actually inherit. But in reality, there were a lot of people which had to basically accept that person being the heir, for example the Senate as well as Praetorian Guard, because the Praetorian Guard had kind of reputation for killing emperors if they didn't enjoy him. Well, but if you go to the later medieval era or medieval Rome, to the Byzantine Empire, and we basically look at how it used to look here with succession laws, they did generally enforce a kind of primogeniture, that the firstborn son of the former emperor were the one to actually inherit the title. And that's generally how it worked out for over 1,000 years. There were some exceptions to this rule, especially when a dynasty ended. Generally because some kind of uprising happened or something like that, or because there weren't any male heirs. But also it wasn't a pure primogeniture because there were a lot of people which had a say in which person would have power. It was also very common for the emperor himself to be actually, when he was a child, and if he was a child emperor, for him to actually be swayed in how he did his job by a powerful general behind his back, a strategos. The Byzantines had something called strategos, and they were basically the military commander over the themes inside the empire. And if you don't know what a theme is when it comes to Byzantine Empire, a theme was a military region which the entire empire was divided into, different themes. And they had a military commander over them, a strategos, and he was basically the military commander over the army that you could muster from that region. And this was basically a way to increase the manpower in the empire. Because when they lost the Egypt and this region to the Arabians, they lost a big chunk of the manpower, so they had to adopt and basically create this theme system. The problem with doing that was the people in charge of these themes, they had a big standing army beneath them, which they could use to put force on the emperor or even make themselves into emperor. And that's generally something that did happen throughout Byzantine history. The Byzantines... I once saw a quote, the worst thing to ever happen to Byzantine history is actually Byzantine history itself. Because the Byzantines screwed themselves up so many times by having these kind of revolt things. Generally when the former emperor died and there was a succession, and mainly because the strategos were so powerful men. It's like how it used to be in ancient Rome with the generals and governors being able to amass huge armies which they could use against the emperor to basically replace him. So that's why I wouldn't call it a pure primogeniture even in the Byzantine era, but they did really have some kind of theme that is kind of close to how the primogeniture were. If you ever played CK2 after the release of Legacy of Rome, that DLC, they had a specific kind of succession in the Byzantine Empire in that game, which they called Imperial Succession, which was basically a kind of elective succession, but only a very selected few people within the realm could actually vote for the next emperor, and the emperor himself had a bigger vote. And basically those people were, I think the marshal could vote as well as the knights, and if you had some kind of honorary title, you were basically allowed to vote. I think that was the case. Sorry if I just went off talking about this for a while, but I think it's kind of interesting when it comes to like succession laws in the Byzantine Empire as well as the ancient Roman Empire. If that's something that you enjoy as well, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I have a habit of actually going into those kind of tirades, is talk about history stuff. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on any future time when this could happen. So it's gone 5 minutes. That's insane. We need to deal with the last few guys, which we haven't already imprisoned. I'm gonna try and imprison this king of Anatolia. Hopefully it will work out. We will find out. It didn't work out, so I need to take this guy down. As someone said, it would have been easier if I just had finished that former war, but I felt like it took too long. I didn't want to waste time just doing it. I'm probably wasting more time doing it this way instead, to be fair. I agree with you on that point, but what can you do? I make the wrong decisions like kind of often. I do, I have to admit that. I'm not the best player ever at this game, and generally when I play myself, when I play alone, we generally don't make the kind of mistakes that I make when I play this on recording, because recording a game is much more difficult than it is to actually play the game by yourself. I think that's a peasant uprising. It is. Okay, so I want to kill that. I do have some other guys which I could raise, so I'm gonna try and use them to just kill those peasants. I just want to find out where the leader is though. Okay, where is he? He's there. Theodosius. I want to kill you, Theodosius, just so you know. I see how many people I could raise in just a few days. Power of the Sacred Chronicles. My oracle often quoted passages from the Sacred Chronicles about the holy virtues. I should prove I have paid attention by quoting a passage of my own, preferably one which complements his personality. I will memorize and recite a section on fairness, moderation. He's temperance. I think moderation is the right thing to go for. And it did work out, so that's great. Okay, I'm gonna use those levies. I'm gonna kill the leader. Hopefully it will work out just fine. We did get a learning perk, so that's good. That's a good one. I like it. Trying to convert the countess a bit quicker. This Duke of Ancona, I want to revoke his stuff. So I'm gonna just go about it and just take the entire duchy. There we go. And I'm gonna give Ancona to someone else. He has a lot of claims, he doesn't own anything himself, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna give Ancona as well as the duchy to someone not of my dynasty, as always not a ruler, but Hellenic and Roman. I generally do not like people with claims, because if they have a claim, that makes it possible for them to actually just from the offset go and try and kill other people. And that's generally not something that I particularly enjoy, to be honest, but I think I'm gonna let it be for now. Someone also very wisely said that I should just divide my troops and try and carpet teach my opponents, and that is true. I should try and do that more often. And I tended to do that beforehand, and for some reason I stopped doing it, which doesn't make sense. Oh, that's a big uprising, of course. I did want this to fire off though, as I said, because I want to be able to actually imprison those dudes. That's something that I think is vital if we want to win this. If we want to make sure that we can make, as I said in the last episode, making more Romans being in charge. That's a good child. Oh, we won the peasant uprising by taking the prison. That's great. I'm gonna disband you guys. I lost an allied person. I'm gonna try and catch those people. He's going to be defending, but I will still probably win, as they're saying. I'm going to invest in this one. Getting a bit more opinion, it's generally a good thing. Moved by my tribulations, this Duke has offered me his counsel and aid on many occasions, hoping to alleviate the burdens of my duties. However, this guy's attentions have incurred the ire of Porphyrius. Marcus cannot be trusted. This is merely a ploy to exploit you, my liege. I don't want to make anyone upset. I want to go by the middle ground and make everyone happy. I'll try it out. And it did work out. Okay, my son. That's my current heir. I don't want to play as this guy. I want to play as the Oracle one. In all honesty, that's the person I want to play as. They do have an advantage, but it has not changed, really. As long as I stay alive, it's going to be okay, I think. And I need to make sure this happens before this one's fire off. It's still going to be able to deal with it, but I want to make sure we can finish this before... That's good. Before we have this new really big uprising, which is not something that I'm entirely looking forward to, but it's going, as I said, it's vital for the continued growth of this empire, especially being a Roman. And seeing as we are Romans, we want this empire to be Roman as well. Does make sense. As we capture the sun, if I go and kill you again, that's not really going to do much for us. I need more sieges. That's what I need. But I did take a son. He's probably worth something. He's not worth anything. That's a bit bad. Are you my vassal? You're not. Can I let you out then? You're not my vassal either. Can I force you to be... Yeah, good. Let's be Zeus. He is not my religion. Can I demand your conversion? Yes, it worked out. Great. Just gonna ransom that person. This guy is probably not the right religion, but he is now. This is another baron. I'm gonna make him Hellenic. And then we have this last person, which is this guy's son. I'm gonna ransom him, and that means that this guy doesn't have any money anymore. It seems like. Oh, I have a house member, which apparently holds a place. He has the plague though, so he's gonna die. Who are you? You're the son of my sister. I see, and we're house members. He's going to die though, he has a plague. He's not going to survive that. Which is a bit sad, but that's just the sad reality of the plague, you know? He's not going to survive. Okay. This one might fire off before we're done with this. It might fire off. But even if that happens, I will be able to deal with it. You are Greek. This guy is at least Hellenic. That's going to make me like me a bit more. Ration. Can I make you the right religion? I'm going to bribe him, and then I'm going to make him the right religion. There we go. He will probably not revolt against me if he was one of these persons who wanted to. So I think that was a wise thing to do, actually. Okay. We're still making money even with about 16 or 18k troops raised, which is good. I want to be able to have an income even though I have to have a lot of troops raised. Okay, you're starving. You can go home. I just give those guys. Someone is doing some fornication. That's generally not a good thing. Okay, you won that siege. If I finish this one, I'm gonna win the war. So you can go home. Oh look, you're already at home when you were in this place. Try and go here and try and finish this up as quickly as possible, because you have onagers. Oh, that's not something that I wanted. But I did gain it, Rushka. Because I gained this place back. Gonna grant it to the poet guy here. And you are now a duke. Here you go, be happy. That's a big Croatia, by the way. I want to take them down. Being a pagan is a good thing, because it makes it easy. What's that? Apostolic Coptic. Okay. Catholicism, as always, is disappearing, because we have a lot of heresies. Catholicism in this game is just terrible. I like that, though. Look at that. Someone is spreading Hellenism in Italia. I love it. The culture itself is not really spreading that much, except where I have spread it myself. But that's something at least. Yeah, that's Serbian. That's Serbian. That's fine. That is fine. The map. Put this guy in my curse undone. I'm very happy with that guy being dead. Yeah, I am losing guys from this happening. This will fire off. They're a bit stronger than I am. I don't care if she's actually sleeping with anyone else. That's not really my problem. Okay, so he's inside my jail. I'm going to revoke the entire kingdom and give it to someone else. I don't want to keep this. I want to give this to someone else, obviously. I don't want to keep this kingdom, because that's generally a stupid thing. So I'm gonna grant this to any of the good guys. Britannicus, you seem decent. You are now a duke as well as a king. And now he's at least holding things where they're supposed to be. That didn't put me above my vassal limit though, so that's something. Okay, I might be successful with doing this. Should I risk it? You see, he is not able to be part of the revolt thing against me. So I'm not going to revoke. It's 75% chance that could turn out wrong. So I'm not going to be stupid right now. Oh. I think the Anatolian guy might have been part of that faction or something. Or it may have... What just happened? Where did the faction go? It just disappeared. You can have this guy, it's okay. That's a bit sad. I was looking forward to it. There was a lot of people there which I wanted to revoke things from. Okay, so this guy's in my jail. I'm gonna revoke your title. I'm gonna revoke the entire duchy and give it to someone else. Thank you. Okay, so whoever could I give this to? I think that's capital, Heraclea. Gotta give this to Cassius. Gonna give Hadrianopolis, which of course has a name after the Emperor Hadrian, which was a very interesting guy. He had a liking for young boys, which I'm having a bit of a difficulty to actually... It doesn't really sit well with me, to be honest. Yeah, go on, you can get it. The Anatolian guy can get those people, because I don't want those guys. Sicily. The Duke of Sicily, he's not actually my religion. And I could give him this dude. I'm still going to do it just to make him like me a bit more. Armeniac. That's this guy. I'm gonna do it just to make those... I'm gonna make those things disappear. I'm making those people like me a bit more. I could... He's not 16. Could I give you a guardian? If I put my brother, who's a good character, and I made this guy like me a bit more by bribing you, and I put my brother, which is a good guardian, to be fair, to do this, he could become, potentially could become the right things that I want to happen. I don't think we can revoke this title. We actually can. Let's create him. He's a non-criminal, I can revoke it, thank you. I'm gonna give this to someone else. He's already comas. Like, this guy is dead. Why is he dead? Does he have like the plague or something? I wanna find out now. Vigelius, why are you so dead? No, Hadrian, why are you dying? There's no reason why he's dying. He's just dying. He's dying for no reason. That's weird. Lucius. Theodosius, you can be the person. There you go. Have fun. That's great. So we have... This looks pretty, by the way. Now that we finally have probably made the empire a lot more stable, I want to focus on keep on conquering stuff. I want to reform the empire itself. I do need a lot more fame. I also want to, as I said before, reform the faith, but that's going to happen eventually when we get more piety. And thank you, by the way, for your suggestions for traits to have in the religion. I have read them and I find them very interesting, and that's probably something that we're going to go for. We could attack the Abbasids, we could attack the Romans. The only thing with taking Rome is that we're opening ourselves up for being attacked by Christianity, the Catholics, by them making holy wars. But if I go to Rome, I could dismantle the papacy and they will not be able anymore. I would need the entire region of Italia though, which we do not currently control. So I think we're going to focus on Italia. For now, we're going to focus on trying to take everything that belongs to Venice and Italia to then lastly take down the papacy. I think that's a wise thing. So I'm going to take down you, Italia. What can I do? Okay, so I have a guy who has a claim on the entire kingdom. That's a lot of prestige, by the way. But that would make my life a lot easier if I did so. He's not a Roman though, that's the problem. This will probably cost more, seeing as I would have to take all of these different duchies. Why is it so expensive? Ah, that's why. He's a duke. He's not a Roman. His heir is not Roman. He's not Hellenic either. Ooh. I don't know if I want to do this the right way. I want to have Romans. Yes, I want Romans. It's stupid, I know, but I just want Hellenic Romans. I want to make this the proper way. Do this the proper way, is to get the right people in charge from the offset. Because he might become... I think it said he could become. It's not actually entirely clear that he's going to become. I'm actually still mustering troops. I'm going to lose this. I did the same stupid shit that I have done before. I think he actually raised an Holy Order. That does seem like... yeah, he did. Holy Order. A really strong one. I did lose a lot of troops. So these guys are going to Mantua. I'm gonna raise troops in Mantua. Hopefully the glitch still works. I don't think it does. The glitch that makes it didn't work out. Okay, so those guys are getting raised. You're really walking far away, by the way. You can make my steward a bit better. Have fun. You can come here. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kill these bloody Italians which managed to defeat me. He's actually really good. I gave you a duchy, that's why you like me. He's a bit better though. Oh, you're really my best marshal, by the way. You're not. This guy is much better than you are. I am able to befriend people. I am able to make people into witches. I want to make people into witches. My son is already a witch though, right? Yes, he is. But I want to befriend people. I want to befriend my son. I'm gonna befriend my son to make him just do this job a bit better, because I cannot replace him from this position in a while. And also I have to make sure that I see if my son is ever getting any children. Not so far. Okay. I think that's going to be buffed. Enough? Yes, it is. Oh, right. Also that someone told me I need to replace the siege equipment. I did remember eventually. You might have been screaming at your screens telling me, 30, you have to buy manogels. Yes, I do. It's going to take a while to actually, for those ones to increase and replenish, which is going to make this take some time, which is not entirely what I wanted. I'm gonna try and chase those people down though, first and foremost. I think he's a bit better at fighting currently than this guy is. Gonna join up while I go and kill some Italians. This should be easy. My son is being bullied. He could become craven, lazy, or arbitrary. I think arbitrary is the best one. It's a sin though. That's a bit bad. Be lazy. He's not the guy I'm gonna play as either. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. I think those managers will eventually become useful. I am known for dedication to my faith. That's great. That's exactly what I want to be known for, you know? Being a pious man. Because of course I am a really pious man who likes to go and feast and hunt. I think that might be gluttony, which is a deadly sin, but I think that's the deadly sin rather when it comes to Christians rather than when it comes to Romans. The Romans did really like reveling, being revelers. So I don't think they would see it as a sin, really. I don't think that would be the case at all. I have about 40 managels. I become an eager reveler. I'm gonna raise my managels, I think. There's not a lot of them, but I want any of them I could get so far. So try and speed this up a bit. Okay, so that's my 50 managels. And that's the only ones that I got. So they are the only people that I want. So you're gonna go and join those people. I got a snake. I have exposed those people's very, very bad relationship, apparently. So that really did speed this up. 3 months, that's awesome. Its head will look beautiful. I can make my son like me. I could get a weak hook on a duke. Is he any good? I guess he could be good. Can I use that hook to make this guy into my religion? He might accept. If I make him like me a bit more, I could use the hook to force him. There you go. And make this guy Hellenic. I want to spread the religion. And if I want to spread the religion, I need those people's helps. Religious icon. That's good. And then we have prophet, which means we could reform the faith. Probably kind of soon. I don't know how much piety we would need. Probably a lot. We will find out though. And most of my vassals will actually convert, which is good. I like it. Cur is undone. One of my rivals is dead. That's really good actually. I like it. We return home. Case of you will be done eventually, of course. My niece has been sleeping with someone. You are a naughty, profligate, and flagellant fornicator woman. Let's go for this one. I'm gonna host a grand rite trying to siege me down. Which is not really going to happen today, as we can see. Which one works out the best? And again, an intrigue lifestyle perk. That's not really what I wanted, to be fair. Having dread is not a bad thing. Fabricating hooks is generally a fun thing as well, though. So, gonna divine the stars. It might turn out good. It might turn out really bad. Okay, so we took this down. I want to siege down the capital with these mana gels. Because we have promoted culture in another region, which is some... I think I wanted to revoke that hold'em, because I think I actually have a claim. I do not have a claim on the Duchy of Byzantium, but I do want a claim there eventually. So I can take those things down. But you are trying to convert Byzantium. Oh. Oh, he's the former emperor, by the way. Yes, he is. We do have 2 uprisings potentially happening at the same time. But I do want some of them at least to fire off, so we can, as I said before, revoke those people's holdings. Because that generally does work out in my favor. It has at least so far done so. Worked out in our favor. And I also want to, of course, I forgot about actually revoking this guy's titles. Who's this person? Ooh, isn't he the guy that they're trying to... Yeah, he's the guy they're trying to put in charge. If I imprison him, it might actually fire off this entire faction. But if I am successful, it's not going to fire off the faction, and I'm going to put this guy in jail, and that's going to make probably the entire thing disappear, because he's actually part of this, and he's probably the person that started this entire thing as well. Get out. Get out. Oh, that's his wife. Is she worth anything? He doesn't particularly care for his wife, apparently. He's a bit too dead to be the one I want. And I'm currently not trying to befriend anyone because of that. Can I befriend you? Potentially, if you like my guts a bit more, would it be easier? It would. Good. That's exactly what I wanted. What I also want to do, I want to try and kill those people. So I want to first try and get my supply back. Okay, so you're done. Your supply is actually looking fine. So probably because you were within the supply limit, which you still are. So that's good. We are not maxed out for battles 1, so I can win some more of them, and that would be good for us. That's fine. I begin in peace. Thank you. That's actually very nice of you. Oh, someone's trying to kill me. Who could that person be? That's not particularly making me that happy. She likes my guts. That's good. It might actually be my son, you know. Because he's not actually my heir. Because his brother is. which is not something that I wanted myself. I want this to change. I don't want you to be my oracle, you know. I want him to be... He's so good, by the way. Charming, lazy. This guy's not as good. He's worse. I want to play as my firstborn. I want to play as my secondborn. He's ugly in comparison. He's not ugly, but he's ugly in comparison at least. Okay, so one more fight, and I think that's going to be enough to win this thing. Yes, it will. That's a lot of advantage in our way. That's just awesome. And that's going to win us the entire war. And I'm gonna go for this one. And there we go, we gained a new duchy. Thank you, game. I didn't gain everything within the duchy though that I wanted to gain, which is a bit stupid. I'm gonna create this. So we have a lot of guys which are... Wait, what? How are you already Roman? Oh, I think I already had this guy. You don't particularly like my guts, you know. I'm going to give this to a guy. He might lose this out very quickly though, because that's a big duchy, and they do not particularly enjoy his presence. Oops. This Duke, we can try. If we fail this is not going to turn out well for us, because that's a big faction. Or it's not that big, to be honest. This one is bigger. That's only peasants. That's nothing else than peasants. I'm gonna try and imprison this dude. That's 73% chance. That's not particularly bad. And it worked out. That's awesome. So that probably made this a lot weaker because he's no longer part of it. And then we take this guy, and I really want to revoke from him actually is those counties, you know. I want to take the Duchy of Thrace rather than the Duchy of this place. I want to take the Duchy of Thrace. I'm gonna keep it in here for a while. He's gonna lose this out. Then I'm gonna take the Duchy of Thrace from him so I can get Bryces and Calliopolis, because I want those three. And then I probably want to keep... I want to take Latium eventually. I can only have 9 holdings. That's the issue. Which ones do I want to keep? Do I want to keep Athens as well as Mistra? Because they do have an holy site. As does Tunis. I'm making a lot of money in Tunis, by the way. Look at this. That's beautiful. I don't know. It's a big question to ask. What do I want to keep? I don't know. I actually do not know. I want to keep Constantinople, as we can see it's making a ton of income. How's the research? But I don't know. I want to put my capital in Rome, not in Constantinople, because that's what I did the last time around. And this time around, I actually want my capital in Roma rather than in Latium or in Constantinople, because this is actually a revert back to the ancient empire. It's not the medieval one. So I want to keep my capital in the right space. But I want to keep Constantinople in my hands, though. That's important to remember. So that's a good question. And I want to have this entire duchy if I take this. I want the entire duchy of Latium to not have any pissed off vassals. But that's something for next episode, because I'm going to take a break here, guys. I think we're about done when it comes to these irritating vassals being in the way. And I think we're going to finally focus on restoring or reforming the faith, as well as conquering more things so we can eventually restore the Roman Empire, as well as dismantling the papacy. But make sure you like this video if you have enjoyed, guys. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so you do not miss out on any future episodes in this campaign. And also leave a comment down below if there's something you want to talk about. I think I might have mentioned 1 or 2 things that you could comment about in this episode, if you're interested enough. But thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Take care.